Most men do not think of themselves as emotionally reactive. They think of themselves as responsible, protective, practical, or logical. But emotional reactivity doesn't always look explosive. Sometimes it looks compliant. Sometimes it looks quiet. Sometimes it looks responsible. And that's why it's dangerous. Let me tell you what emotional reactivity often looks like in men. First, the appeasement is disguised as responsibility. A man says, I'm doing this for the kids. I'm doing this for financial stability. I'm doing this to keep the peace. But in reality, he's afraid of conflict. He's afraid of disruption. He's afraid of being seen as unstable. So he rolls over, not once, but repeatedly. And the cost is hidden. His friendships weaken. His children feel tension. His integrity erodes. His relationship with Christ becomes performative. He even searches for ways to biblically justify staying small. That's emotional reactivity. It's fear governing decisions. Second is fear-based stagnation. A man stays in a job going nowhere. He avoids opportunity. He refuses risk, not because he lacks ability, but because he's afraid of destabilizing someone else. When a spouse says she wants security, he hears don't move. But security isn't about your job title, it's about your steadiness. And staying stuck to avoid tension is not stability, it's fear. Over time, that fear turns into resentment. That's the cost. Now, third is escape and cope. When pressure rises, he checks out. Gaming, explicit content, endless scrolling, work obsession, anything to avoid feeling inadequate. He doesn't scream, he disappears. And emotional absence is still reactivity. Now his wife feels alone, his kids feel distance, his friends lose access, and shame grows. That's the cost. Fourth is substance dependence. Not always illegal, often legal. Whatever numbs fear and insecurity. And here's what's happening quietly. Legal substances are easier to access than ever. And men tell themselves it's legal, it's fine. But if it's controlling you, it's still control. And withdrawal from legal substances can be just as brutal as illegal substances. Reactivity always finds relief. Leadership learns regulation. Now, the fifth thing is the man who looks like he has it all together, serves at church, good job, nice family, stable image, and goes home and drinks every night, or hides an affair, or lives in secret. He will not step into recovery. He will not admit weakness publicly because he's not one of those guys. But maybe he'll search quietly. Maybe he'll watch something like this and realize he's not alone. Emotional reactivity doesn't always look messy. Sometimes it looks polished, but the cost is the same. Distance, secrecy, fear, disconnection from Christ. Here's the truth. Emotional reactivity feels protective in the moment, but over time, it reshapes your life around fear. It narrows your decisions. It shrinks your leadership. It weakens your voice. It distances your relationships. And eventually, you're going to wake up exhausted, not because you're weak, because you've been reacting instead of leading. James 1:20 says, human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires, but neither does human fear. Fear-driven compliance does not produce righteousness either. Steadiness requires something different. It requires the ability to feel pressure without letting pressure steer you. That's what we're building. And in the next step, we're going to talk about why you feel controlled, even if no one is explicitly controlling you. Because control is often subtle, and until you see it, you can't step out of it.